This is Sacramento, home to the original Pony Express mail delivery service, home to the Sacramento Kings, the Sacramento Ballet and Opera, Sacramento Theater Company, over 30 theaters and museums, ample nightclubs with almost any genre of music you could desire, a diverse selection of dining. There's even a California musical theater which hosts Broadway touring companies. Sacramento is also where I call home, and is where I spent the majority of the pandemic, staring at digital screens from the inside of my apartment, as traditional forms of entertainment seemingly vanished overnight and internal park spaces became unreliable as their physical sizes failed to accommodate the sheer volume of people now in need of safe public outdoor spaces, which is extremely unfortunate given that the outdoors have an amazing ability to heal, to spark creativity, and bring people together, a fact that has certainly rung true in my own life. So when myself and my friends here in Sacramento found ourselves feeling down from the lockdown and lack of normalcy, it made me question why I was stuck inside when there was a river less than a mile away with dirt and paved trails as far as the eye can see, why I felt disconnected when my friends were just beyond the other side of the river, and most immediately, why I wasn't out hiking the river instead of watching Tiger King on Netflix. In response to this question, I walked over 320 miles of downtown Sacramento and the proximity areas of interest, trying to understand why the capital of California, a beautiful historic city known for its trees with envious access to the Sacramento and American rivers throughout most of the city, exists as if there were no river at all for many of its citizens. What I found was a lack of connectivity commonly impedes river access to the densest parts of Sacramento. The I Street Bridge is unsafe due to high curbs, high winds, low guardrails, and an absence of marked crosswalks. This prevents an ideal pedestrian connection point to West Sacramento's nearby parks and river trails that would ease traffic along Tower Bridge, which requires passing through an area of historic downtown that is normally bustling with activity. Sutter's Landing is disconnected by a fence line along the Bell Marine Industrial Aggregate and Concrete Recycling Center, cutting straight through an old pedestrian trail. In the aforementioned cases and commonly around the city, wayfinding is inadequate and requires prior knowledge for utilization rather than enticing new visitors. Distances from internal city spaces to the river are feasible for pedestrian access and alternative modes of transportation such as electric scooters and bikes, but the current implementation of shared ride services and automobile-focused infrastructure limit the potential. Electric scooters could be an ideal form of transportation within the city, taking people to and from pedestrian spaces safely. However, without a change in how they are used and maintained within the city, they do more harm than good. They are more likely to be found in the river or in the middle of the sidewalk than they are at a proper docking station, and riders are more likely to be found on sidewalks than they are in the streets at a speed of 15 miles per hour. The river spaces that are currently utilized likely shouldn't be due to unsafe levels of E. coli and other toxins in the waterways. This is especially true at the confluence of the American and Sacramento rivers, specifically Chiscornia Park, where the small beach serves as a popular children's swim spot, where houseless activity on both sides of the river leads to high levels of human waste and trash entering the river, contributing to unsafe E. coli levels. Some of the best paddleboarding conditions are just to the east of Chiscornia's beach, but water quality makes these activities unsafe. There are many river nooks and trails to be found, but they are in almost every instance in direct competition with houseless encampments or passageways, and when they aren't, the fear of the unknown, acts as a barrier to many who might otherwise wish to utilize them. This has led to a river that is mostly used by bikers moving at a speed that allows them a sense of safety, one exception being the oddly houseless encampment-free area just north of the California Indian Heritage Center. Odd that is until you dig a bit deeper, and see an old golf course has been converted into a private neighborhood with more green space than Capitol Park, blocked off by giant walls that belong along a highway, not in the quiet residential streets of West Sacramento. There is an undeniable potential for pedestrian corridors that connect the city not just to the river, but to itself and its residents. So what if we were to erase the impediments that prevent this? To stitch together Sacramento, what would we be left with? A city connected by nature, linked like the petals of a Sympetalous flower, with hybrid modes of transportation that allow freedom and exploration. I made a short 15-minute film, what I'm calling Sympetalous Sacramento, in an attempt to document this through a collection of ephemeral moments captured while searching for walking routes throughout the city that connect our green spaces. So if you have a moment, please check it out.